Okay. Good evening. Call to order the meeting of the Board of Ed on Thursday, March 20th, 2025. The time is 6:02. Roll call, please.
Chairman Bonity
Here.
Vice Chair Nafrio
Here.
Secretary Sienna here, Judy Bannon, President Zachary Canada
Here.
Jim Dawson, Victoria Long here.
Thank you. So move to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Visitors, if anyone would like to address the board, the comments are limited to the items on the agenda. Anyone would like to address the board? Okay. And now we have our student representatives. Hi, guys. Hi.
Okay. The Red Cross Blood Drive was held at NVHS on February 27th in the gymnasium. The NVHS Student Council sponsored the event, with a record 42 pints being donated. Due to COVID and then the construction on the new facility, NVHS was unable to host most recently. Mr. Hersom and Mr. Drexler, the co-advisors of the Student Council, organized the event with members of the Red Cross. The Greater New Haven Chamber of Commerce and professionals from the field of medicine visited NVHS on February 26th. As a follow-up to the NVHS Career Fair, students interested in entering the profession were able to meet with several professionals and obtain first-hand knowledge about various career opportunities. Similarly, members of the Advanced TV Production/Communications class attended a field trip on February 28th with their teacher, Mr. Delizio, to the Connecticut NBC WVIT news station. Students met production staff and new talent and toured the facility.
The NBHS Dream Team participated in Read Across America events held at Jerome Harrison and Tucket Valley Elementary on March 7th and 14th, respectively. Mrs. LaCroix continues to lead the NBHS Dream Team and prepare students before events across the district. Girls basketball successfully advanced to the quarterfinals of the CIAC state tournament, traveling to Coventry after defeating Wheeler and Capital Prep during the opening rounds of play. Similarly, the National Field Hockey Coaches Association has named Lily Ardito, Riley Cole, and Olivia Schmidt to the Senior Impact Team for academics, community service, and leadership. Additionally, the NFHCA has named seniors Daytona Kaminsky and Olivia Schmidt to the National All-Academic Squad.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want to mention the senior breakfast today and how you took part in it and then performed for them? I know we have somebody who's on stage.
Yeah, so today,
somebody who was serving. Now you're queued up. All right, take it away.
So today at NVHS, the National Honor Society hosted our seniors for a quick breakfast in the cafeteria before they went onto the auditorium and watched a pre-performance of Pippin, which our drama club is doing next weekend, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
So not the senior class, but senior citizens. So we had probably 50 senior citizens from the senior center take the bus or travel to the high school cafeteria. The cafeteria staff made a brunch for them, quiche and egg sandwich. They absolutely loved it. The students fed them, waited on them, escorted them over, sat with them, chatted with them, and then the students put on bits of their play Pippin. And they absolutely, it's their favorite day, they'll tell you. We love interacting with the students and seeing their many talents, and the kids did a great job. So the plug for Pippin, put it in your calendar. The kids did an amazing job, as always. So.
That's great.
Good day. Good job, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
There's no motion here, but I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda of the March 2025 Board of Ed.
Second. Okay. Does anyone have any questions on the consent agenda or any issues?
Did I need to abstain from voting because I wasn't here?
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions?
Yes.
Any nays? No. So, 1, 2.
Actually, you know what? I wasn't here.
You-
I
oh.
abstained. Sorry, I have to
Okay,
abstain.
so two abstentions.
Sorry.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, right, you were here.
That's right, that's right.
Okay. Also, do you have to make a motion for the February 20th?
No, that's all.
It's all together, it's all
part of the consent agenda.
Okay.
So we move on to the superintendent.
Okay, Superintendent, you're up.
Fantastic, thank you. It's an honor and a pleasure to have, excuse me, Chelsea Dodds here from the high school English department. She has been the leader of our literary magazine Kaleidoscope for several years, and we received the rank of superior in the 2024 National Council of Teachers of English, recognizing excellence in art and literary magazines, the program. She's been our advisor, as I mentioned, and they produce a publication each year in the school featuring students' artwork, poetry, songs, and short stories. I'm reading this just so if you haven't read it. During the school, I don't want to miss anything. During the school, Kaleidoscope hosts several evening events at the high school, including open mic nights, game nights. The open nights provide opportunities for students to perform musical selections, acoustic read poetry, or short stories. Game night is a fundraising event which involves approved video games and approved board games. Everyone is open to current students at the high school. All are welcome. Ms. Dodds will be present at the meeting to answer. She's here. Any questions that you may have. And it really, she's done an amazing job of bringing different groups of students together to share their talents, not only in writing, but in performing arts. She's a musician as well. She plays in a band with other high school teachers. We might have to book something out if we can, just to show their talents. And she's also coaching on the track team. So Chelsea's here if you want to give copies and talk a little bit about your work, and you'll do the Walk of Fame is the congratulatory walk as you go around. Okay, thank you.
Just watch your step.
This is the challenge. If you can step over the cords while passing out Kaleidoscope.
Congratulations. That's terrific, thank you. How many students do you have that get involved on the average?
20 to 30, it depends on the year. We're a little bit smaller this year. Thank you. We have an extra.
If you want to give a copy to autograph, sure.
Sure. Do you want me to talk more about it?
Yeah, just talk about what you do and how you recruit students. And
Yeah, so we meet during our flex block at the high school primarily. All of the work that gets published in the magazine, the students select our editors. Noah Allen, who was just here, is our senior editor, and then we have a junior editor. They're chosen by the club every year. We hold elections. And Noah and our junior editor will take everybody's names off of the submissions, and the rest of the club reads everything anonymously. And then they vote on what they think are the best poems and stories and pieces of artwork. And everything is very student-driven. They put the magazine together, they decide on what goes on the cover and how to design the cover, and then we send it out to get printed. The game night that Scott mentioned is actually happening tomorrow night. If anybody wants to drop by the high school between 7 and 9 p.m. and still have fun. I also teach creative writing, and we have an early college experience creative writing class where students can get credit at Branford High School and at Southern. So a lot of the work that winds up getting published in the magazine actually originates in that Southern PC creative writing class. So that's another really great opportunity for students. They're also eligible when they take that Southern class to submit their work to Southern's literary magazine as well. I've only had a few students who actually went ahead with submitting their work to Southern's literary magazine, but I've had 2 students in past years who actually got published in that, which is a honor as well. Yeah.
That's awesome.
just, you've done some professional work in the summertime too, and travel. Do you just share some of your
Yes.
experiences?
Does it need to relate to Kaleidoscope?
No, listen. No.
Yeah, so I also write outside of school. I have a master's of fine arts in fiction writing. So that's half of what I'm doing during the summer. I've also done a couple of summer programs through Fun Career Teachers. I won a grant in 2016 to go to the Jacksonville Writers Conference in Wyoming, and I loved it so much that I now volunteer there. It sadly moved from the summer to the fall, but I was still able to go volunteer there this past fall. In 2023, I got a Fun Career Teachers grant to go to California, study John Steinbeck and where he grew up, and the setting of many of his novels. And in 2022, I did the National Endowment for the Humanities Summer Teacher Institute where I studied the Gilded Age and Progressive Era in New York City and the Adirondacks. I applied to an NEH this year, so fingers crossed I get it. I found out in 2 weeks. That one is in California again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and on the right end of things, I was accepted into an artist residency for 2 weeks this summer in upstate New York. So I can work on a novel and just have an uninterrupted block of time because, as Mr. Schoonmaker mentioned, I do a lot of things, so I don't always have time to work on my own art. So I'm very excited about that as well.
It's wonderful.
That's great. Congratulations.
Thank you for,
We're lucky to have
thank you for being
you.
here
Sure,
tonight.
our students are lucky to have you.
Right, and the coaching piece and, indoor track, outdoor track takes up a lot of time, but making connections with kids and outside of the classroom, it's so critical. So,
It's going to be my bedtime reading.
yeah. Thank you. Thanks for being here,
so
Chelsea. Now, listen, you do not have to stick around, so
Alrighty.
you can sneak out the back. No one's gonna. Thank you, Chelsea. Okay.
So
Yeah, it's impressive, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it's
incredibly.
important. The communications from the administrators, obviously this time of year, gearing up. It's hard to believe we're 3/4 of the way through March and preparing for, the spring, the transition, our testing is coming up, and they've been really, really busy with that.
I just want to make a quick comment about that. I'm reading through the briefs and how very impressed I am with the amount of collaboration that's happening between Jerome and TDS and then BIS and NVHS. I think that's something that is so valuable when you take the people where they came from, people they're going to, and give them an opportunity to share ideas and
Mentor.
as I was reading, I was like, there it is again, there it is again. So I just wanted to make sure that I mentioned what a wonderful thing I think that is that you're all doing.
And they've really enjoyed it. The staff, the administrative team, obviously, and they've gotten really connected with doing this, but the staff is seeing the value of going on these walks and sharing ideas, and it's non-threatening, and it's only to grow and to learn in the trade. So it's been wonderful. Any questions for anyone on that communications?
Is it the learning walks?
Yes.
So are they actual walks?
They walk. They look at
That's what
artifacts.
I was wondering, because things are sometimes
Yeah.
not
Yep.
named what they really are, but so I was like, did they go out?
They
on the
walk, they go through the
Okay.
building, look at their classrooms, look at their boards, look at student work, anything that's on, and then they break it down and discuss it. So, 400 pounds of food, 482 pounds donated to the food pantry. As you know, they moved into the new building. The art department will be working on a new sign that they're going to do as you enter in. So the art department with our tech department will be making an indoor sign.
I went to their opening evening, and I encourage anyone to go and look at this food pantry. It's absolutely gorgeous.
They're having, they're having an open house Saturday from 11 to 2.
Yeah, and they're looking for items that they're short on. And
Yeah, they're doing a dog room as
Yes,
well.
they're doing a little dog area.
Pet room, because there's cats too.
Yes.
So it's-
And they are looking for new items for that area, for pets, pet food, treats and whatnot.
So Rita Nay has done an amazing job with her volunteers and has really spearheaded that. So thank you, Rita. Martha's got the finance report.
So in front of you, you have the finance report. You'll see on the monthly expenditure, I did add February right alongside January, and my plan is to add the months as we go forward with that. If it gets too busy, then we could talk about maybe summarizing them by quarter, but that'll be up to you as we move forward, because this is a new report. So during the month of February, 61% of our 2.7 million expenditures, 61% of that was salaries, which equated to 1.7 million, 14% in benefits, and the remaining 23% was in expenditures. New for this month, we did make our payment to the town for our annual technology financing agreements. We have 4 separate financing agreements that are each 4 years. So every year we have a new financing agreement coming on for technology, and every year we have the oldest one dropping off. So it's a constant 4-year rotation. In February, we also received $2,800 in Medicaid reimbursement for our special education students that qualify. This credit is applied toward our special education professional services line. And we also finally got an invoice from DATCO for propane for the buses. This is the first time we've gotten an invoice for propane all year. And if you remember, some of our buses were converted from diesel to propane, or rather the new buses are propane. So we did receive invoices for September through January. So the total we paid out for propane was $12,011, and that is under Object 623, if you're looking for it. Under the year-to-date, our billable, we're still waiting to be reimbursed for $11,613. $2,500 of this was added in February, and that was related to building rentals. Our Object 121 has a year-to-date expenditure of almost $83,000. In that sub-account is substitute teachers. These are for the daily call-ins only. It's not our long-term subs. It's not our building subs. It's just daily call-in. That is almost $8,000. Our substitute paraprofessionals, both regular ed and special ed, $34,391. Our substitute nurse is $5,200, and our substitute custodial line is $35,207.
Are these high as historically, are these numbers kind of?
The substitute custodian, I think, is probably where it was last year. And the substitute paraprofessional may be a little bit higher than it has been in the past, since we seem to have more and more trouble getting and keeping our paraprofessionals.
May I ask about the same, this one and the overtime, which I ask about every month? My question is procedurally, if I'm an administrator, building administrator, and I go to get a sub that's not my building sub, how would I know that I've reached my capacity in my budget?
You don't.
So is there a way to start tracking that better? Because, I mean, when you're looking at these two items, overtime as well, who approves that overtime?
So the overtime for custodians is overseen by our Director of Facilities, John Florio.
Okay.
The salary lines are not controlled by our principals, and we wouldn't necessarily not allow a principal to have a sub in because we want those classrooms covered. So those are the things that I worry about, I'm going to say, needing to make sure there's enough money in those lines or finding the money within the budget to transfer there. And in regard to the paraprofessionals, the majority of that expenditure is from our Yale students who have been really great in helping us this year.
Which
fill those
explained
openings.
before, for sure. I guess that I'm just concerned with these lines being so far over when we have other lines that are over and we still have 4 months left of school. And it's not a matter of trust. I think you know that because I trust you implicitly. It's just a question of procedure. How can we, moving forward, look at these places that are pretty consistently going over and be a little more careful maybe for next year?
I think one of the big things is being able to budget what we really anticipate the total cost to be.
Okay.
And unfortunately, in the past, we haven't been able to do that. There is money in the budget to cover what you see now.
Okay.
It's just a matter of me doing the transfers to fund those lines. And I'm waiting because I don't want to take from a line that I'm going to have to go back and put money back into.
I understand.
So it's
Okay.
kind of that waiting game to see exactly how it's going to turn out.
We have had individuals who have been out for a considerable amount of time.
I'm aware of that, yes.
We've moved personnel out of this building and we are cleaning it. We are working with the 18 to 22-year-old program here. They come in 2 times a week and are working with us.
Okay.
And so they've picked up those duties. Park and Rec, I found out today from them, and also grabbed them to do cleaning work because they lost their custodian as well. So we have zero cost right now in our section because we moved the 4-hour custodian back to Jerome Harrison to work.
I love that idea that they're.
So they love it.
Yeah, that's
It's
great.
been great, and so we think we have a cap on the overtime for now, unless
Okay.
someone else goes out, which, happens, or they take their vacation time during the school year. You gotta understand, at nighttime, some of these buildings only have 2 people on.
No, I know.
So one is out, and then we really struggle finding substitutes.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a tough time getting people to come in from that 2 to 10 shift.
Because who wants that?
Because it's,
Exactly. I
it's
just-
just over,
I just
yeah. So
felt
we
like-
think we have it under control, and then we have a whole nother model that we're looking at through the whole budget process, and I'll get
Okay.
into that as we go
Sounds good.
through the budget process.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Sure.
If someone's out long-term, and they collect a portion of their regular salary, is that paid out of regular salaries or workers' comp?
Workman's comp no. Workman's comp that you see on our budget is the cost that we pay for the insurance policy.
Okay.
The only group that we have that actually collects a portion of their salary while they're on workman's comp, 20%, is our custodians. So the 20% that they do receive if they're out on comp is charged to their regular building line under 112. And there is nothing, the only thing that comes out of workman's comp in this line is the bill to our insurance company.
Okay. So they get 80% of their salary from workers' comp.
Yes.
And we give them the other 20.
Yes.
So there's no incentive to rush back to work if they're collecting the same amount of money at home. Am I correct?
Yes.
Got it.
So will that mean that there's extra money in the salary line because it's not been paid
Not
out?
really, because then you have other employees who may be working a lot of overtime
Overtime.
to fill that. So
So does
it
that-
could very well mean that there's less money because now you have an employee who's earning time and a half possibly for a whole nother second shift.
Right, but is that being paid out of overtime or is that coming out of regular salaries?
That would be paid out of their regular
Custodial.
custodial
Okay.
line.
Okay. So, I mean, I did see that there was arrears in overtime or overtime. So I was just wondering where that money comes from.
Yeah,
when
the
you-
only time you'll see overtime actually charged to that 130 object is when it comes in on a separate timesheet. So if the employee is working specifically for another building or for an event that is not billable, then it'll show up there.
Okay. All right, thank you. That clears that up.
But like I said, we think the faucet is off. When we had the college kids home for their month break, we were able to grab a couple of them and have them come in and work, which was helpful. But now with the transition of this person going back, we think we're in good shape. Knock on wood.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The remainder of the objects there is no change, so there's no change in other post-employment benefits, rentals, transportation, or the late run. We have a new negative that we're looking into under Object 513, which is the magnet school transportation line. I'm going to look into why there's currently a negative there of $5,700. It could just possibly be an over-encumbrance.
One more question.
Yeah.
On rentals, you mentioned the porta potty at the high school and the rental for the temporary gym, but we're no longer doing that?
No, that explanation's been there the past few months.
Right.
So I just left it in case you were wondering what those negatives were from.
Okay, but I know the ice rink, you still say, we're still paying that, but the gym, the temporary gym, there shouldn't be any.
No, there's not. There's
Okay.
not. And if you go
Okay.
back and look at January or
There's no-
December, those numbers
Okay.
should pretty much be the same.
She started right off with no change.
Right, but there is a change because we're not paying that rental fee anymore to the temporary gym.
Right.
So there is a
Storage,
change.
Storage.
Those were, remember, this
From
is
last
year-to-date.
month.
This is
Okay.
year-to-date, so
Okay, oh, all right,
it's not monthly, it's year-to-date.
okay.
Unfortunately, our electricity, Object 623, did increase. We are now at a negative balance of $302,650. The majority of that is because of the new solar administrative charges that we now have to pay. For the month of February, our electricity went up $13,000 to $99,214 for the month of February. The high school alone was $76,626.
What's going on up there, Mr. Stuffler? In that high school, you're burning all that energy.
There's all that energy with senior citizens there.
Do we have any electricity, like, cost-saving like measures in place, like computers turning off or anything like that? That
Honestly,
could impact
the big increase here is
The size.
solar,
the solar?
the solar fees that we're paying. It's 200.
We want to give the solar back to the town. I want real numbers for electrical charge to carry. I don't want to rely on the sunshine or the solar field. It's been a disaster. And they'll say the same thing. And they try to figure it out with Anthony on that side, working with the solar company, the electric company, and the credit one time you can transfer, and it's a mess. It's just, we're better off just getting a real number, looking at our data of what we use in kilowatt hours, and then projecting next year and just having an electric bill.
For this year's budget, the year we're currently in, I had 200 and I think it was 85,000, over $200,000
In credit.
budgeted in electricity specifically for the solar. But we were asked to take that out in anticipation of the credits. So here we are.
Did we know about the cost for the servicing of those? Isn't that what the increase was due to you said, what was the increase due to?
There's a $13,000 increase
in
over January's bills. Is that what you're referring to?
Were you paying for servicing? What is that?
Solar service.
The solar
Yeah, it's
service
like an
fee.
administrative
An
fee.
administrative fee. What is
Yeah.
that? What was that? Do you have that pulled out?
I don't have that on this, no.
Okay. I just wondered what that service fee is.
I can get it for you, I can add it up and send it to you.
Just to,
But we want to get out of the solar business. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, it sure didn't seem to save us any.
No, and just the tracking of it, and then with the town and the different buildings, and they can take the solar field and power town hall or whatever.
Yeah, we're having one
Stick with
building
one
probably each
location.
year.
One location, we're
One
too big,
location.
we have 3 100,000 square foot buildings on that property, and we're going back and forth, and it's too, we have an employee here in this building and down at town hall that have spent how many hours working with the solar company?
Weeks, if you add it all up.
It's ridiculous.
Weeks.
Well, and we want to be accurate with our budgets moving forward as well.
Yeah, this is a
Too
moving
much
target.
guesswork.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for my liking. There's too much uncertainty with it.
Right.
Yeah.
And while they take that, they can take the auditorium back too. Tom, would you like to comment on that?
Yes, please.
No. So, that's another full-time job that Tom didn't know he was walking into, but, that's another conversation for another time with the amount of resources and upkeep and, constant, and then when the monies come in, they go back, and then if we need something, we have to get, and it doesn't benefit us. It really doesn't. I'd like to just use it for our classroom space that we have in there, and then our productions and shows, and the town can take it and rent it every night of the week if they want, and manage it, book it,
Clean it.
everything,
Pay for the electricity and heat and the air.
everything.
So I wasn't here last month, so I apologize. This is a redone, but the object 510, can you just, I'm looking at the number.
Transportation?
510, transportation.
Uh-huh.
Can you just walk me through, I'm trying to locate these negative balances, or am I missing something? This is special, oh, this special ed line.
No, it's at the,
On the first, on the,
Yeah, so it's the total of objects on your year-to-date report,
yeah,
510. Did I not change that?
oh, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, I didn't change the negative balance.
I got it. Never mind.
So my fault.
That's fine. But the true number should be what?
Negative 154,905.
That's the true number.
That's, yeah.
I got it.
Yep.
Perfect, thank you.
As far as Fund 25, our non-lapsing account, to my knowledge, there's no change there. So I'm still waiting to hear when the audit for fiscal year 24 is complete. In regard to Family Resource Center, they're showing a net income year-to-date of $51,000. Just to point out, they bill over 10 months with their first payment due August 1st and their last payment due May 1st. So right now, they're a little bit ahead on their revenue. And so as the year goes on, I anticipate that income may come down a little bit, but I think overall they should end in a positive for the year. In regard to the food service, we had 12,863 lunches served. It looks quickly when you look at that we had a decrease over last year, but when you compare the number of days we were in school between February 24 and February 25, last year, February 24, we actually had 2 more school days than we did this year. So if you break it out by the day, we're actually ahead. There were 531 breakfast meals served at the high school in February, and we are showing still a year-to-date loss for the food service of $25,000. The reason for that is because if you remember, we had to spend $41,000 for the state of Connecticut. And what we did with that is we replaced the compressor on the walk-in freezer at Tutucket, and we bought a new serving line for Tutucket.
You can't accrue more than 3 months?
Correct.
Okay.
any questions for Ms. Vaughn?
I'm just curious how much money we're behind, like on paper, on all the lines of negative balances that we have to find within the budget to.
I don't know that off, I would have to add that up for you.
All right, just that, it seems like there's a lot of negative balances.
There is, but when you look at the total at the bottom of either the year-to-date report or the monthly, you'll still, it is a positive.
Like healthcare, you pay for it
as you go.
Front.
Yes.
So it's negative,
right.
but in
When
every
all the contributions come
every
in.
paycheck, money
Yes.
goes back
Yes.
to, so it still looks negative, but there's still money
Right,
coming in.
but there are
to offset
lines that are over budgeted.
Right.
But
So,
we can look on the last page, which says we're at 72% of our budget and an available budget of $9,480,000. So there's money there to. So,
We haven't, in my history, we've never gone back to the town.
and on paper, I'm saying we look like, even though we do have a lot of negatives, it's what you bring to our attention.
Exactly.
Gratefully.
Yes.
Yes.
But it looks as though we still we're in good shape.
Right, and the majority of that money that is remaining is salary.
Right.
So, I am doing the projections, because June 30th is coming quickly. We're already almost at the end of March, so, but we should be okay.
Thank you.
okay, thank you.
All right, no further questions. Town manager report, just obviously the upcoming dates for the budget. We've been in contact, and the 25th, as you know, is the quick. We're up first, 6:30. Martha and I will just have a 30-minute presentation to the board just about what they want. It's not going to be a PowerPoint, it's going to be a paper copy, a comparison of last year, this year, where we're at. It'll be just a down and dirty, and then Capital, John will be there. April 1st is the night that will be our big presentation. We'll get together after the 25th. All of the slides, Tom, Martha, and I are meeting tomorrow. We're going to solidify the slideshow. We'll get that to you probably Monday, and then you can take a look at it. And I know in some emails today that there was some interest of being part of the presentation, and then we'll go from there. The administrative team looked at it on Wednesday, at all the slides of what we had and what they wanted to add, and there was some suggestions about what you wanted to see with capital over time and things that have been repetitive over the years. So we're putting all that together as well. So everything that you voiced in our one meeting that we had, and then with the questions in the whole budget process, and I know there was a request to put the questions online as well, so those will be going up.
Yeah, actually, yes, I meant to add that.
Answers.
The questions and answers from workshop number 2
Yeah.
we're supposed to be part of the minutes.
Right.
And the capital request that John
Yeah.
prepared for us
So
should all go into the minutes.
He'll get those, and then we'll put them up online, so you have questions and answers.
Okay.
You said 6:30 on the March 25th?
6:30
And that's where?
at the town hall.
Town hall, thank you.
Yeah. And then the high school on the 1st is the public hearing, when people can come out and listen and comment. All right, update on the renovation project at the high school. There are currently 60 open items right now that Bill Bain is actively working on with the architect. The big thing will be in the spring because they're waiting for the weather to turn. There's landscaping things that they have to do. There's paving things that they've identified. There's a couple of cracks in windows that they're going to replace. So they're waiting for April vacation to do the lion's share of the work. And there's some structural cracks in the building, which with the shift, it's not a big deal. They just have to peel face stone off and replace it. I don't want anyone to think is the building coming down. No. So that's actively going on. The project committee has been working with them. There's 4 big things that we're going to see come to completion. The landscaping due to the washout will be done in the spring. The handrail in the back side of the gymnasium will be done. The phase 2 floor expansion joints, they're replacing the 2nd and 3rd floor expansion joints, so it'll be a smooth, there won't be an elevated trip hazard in those expansion joints. The culinary lab, AV system, the TVs, 3 TVs have been hung. Red Thread is working to make sure that the camera system is connected with that, so they're actively in there doing that as well. So it's moving along. We're anxious for the asphalt repair in the back parking lot where they had their trailers. They're going to come in and fix that as well. So it'll be a busy place during April break. Okay? Preschool tuition, you're going to be asked to vote tonight on a couple of different policies. Obviously, Sarah is here, but I think we've asked plenty of questions about preschool. I don't think there's anything pending, and if you do have a question, but we'll get to that when we come up to that preschool program. That's it for my report.
Okay, we've got committee reports, negotiations, there's no report, budget operations, no meeting, curriculum, instruction, and strategic planning report from the March subcommittee meeting. Who wants to take it?
Yeah, I'll just cover, and Judy, you can square me away or whatever, I guess, is the school climate surveys are going to be going out. There'll be a letter headed out to the parents and, other recipients. That's going to, all 4 schools are going to be taking part, and it takes place in April, early April.
Last week of March to early April.
Thank you. And item 2, it's a smart. You want to take that one if you...
Sure. Dr. Wells shared with us the goals for the Smarter Balance, the MGSS, and the SAT testing for our town. And he shared with us some strategies that are going to be implemented in each of the schools to increase our success in those areas.
Okay.
That's it.
Perfect.
We want to do better in the test, but that's not the be-all, end-all is the message, right?
It's
We
one
wanna do-
slice.
Right.
It's one slice of the pie. And they've been doing a wonderful job of preparing, incentivizing. They have a private group meeting with the entire junior class that comes in and does SAT prep, aside from, what is embedded in the curriculum. So hearing it from someone else coming into the building is an advantage.
Huge.
And it's,
Great.
we just want the students to give their best effort. Whatever your result is for your best effort with the preparation for what's on that test and how they're tested. And they're working hard, so.
Yeah, I mean, I applaud the folks that are doing the pre-test, kind of like test prep initiatives. The kind of outside, some of the things that Carter brought up in the meeting is pretty, it's not the normal, square peg, square box kind of thing, right? It's unique and it's kind of, and a lot of people are involved in it, which is great.
Yeah.
So.
And it's a huge service to get that extra credit.
Right. I mean, just some of them are,
It's expensive.
like tutors, community involvement, essay prep, like all that other stuff that, maybe didn't happen as much as in the past, but this is all unique, I think, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, we came off from 2 years of COVID. I'm not making excuses. I'm saying that, education changed during those 2 years and the aftermath of, the majority of the time we're spending now is on social emotional things and behavior issues and fallout from COVID. And it's national, it's not just in North Branford. And it's a challenge. You walk in those classrooms and you're seeing behaviors that, are 2 years beyond what they should be seeing. And it's going to take time. It's going to take time.
Yeah.
So.
The world changed
The world changed.
very quickly.
And the teachers are asked to do more. It's just not reading, writing, arithmetic. It's,
No.
Not even close.
not even close.
Not even close.
Right.
And pension, there was no meeting. Policy.
Yes, tonight we have a first read for policy 1500, nutrition and wellness. This is a new policy. There's been a state process where we have to do analysis and reporting. So in this policy, section 1 and 2 are state requirements, and section 3 and 4 are specific to North Branford. It's a first read. The second one is P7210. This is the preschool program tuition. This is the one that it would normally be a first read, but because of the time necessary to get out the cost reports. So I'd like to make a motion to waive the requirement for the second read of policy P7210 according to the board policy P9200 due to emergency circumstances and approve policy P7210 preschool program tuition as submitted.
I'll second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions? Any nay? It passes unanimously to waive, this is to waive that second read.
Okay. And because of that, then I'd like to make a motion to approve the recommendation for the tuition cap of the North Branford preschool tuition family contribution, regardless of income per academic year, shall not exceed the OEC established cost of care or $8,750 per child, whichever is less for the 25-26 school year.
Second.
Anyone have any questions on that one? Everyone's clear on it? Okay, no discussion. We can take.
I actually have a quick question.
Okay.
Will we have to vote on this every year since it's only for next year?
Yes, if the cost of care goes
We'll
up.
have a new policy.
Or down.
No.
Penny? I think.
Yes, Sarah?
Could it go down?
It's not a new policy, Vicki, it's just voted, the policy stands, it's just voted on the tuition.
The number, right. But it could go down as well, or up.
Yeah.
So we will vote on the amount each year.
It's just
Yes.
the amount.
The amount we would be looking at each year.
Each year we fill that line in with whatever it is and we vote on.
Thank you.
Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Any abstentions?
Now, just one quick question for the people watching at home. The cap of 8750, divide by 52 or 36.2?
36.2. And what were the tuition payments, which are not part of the policy, but rather just part of our structural, is it is either going to be an automatic payment, which will occur across 9 months, so starting in September, ending in May. And that's automatic. If people don't choose automatic, then it would be 3 payments, and that could be a check payment. And those dates, if I remember correctly, are September, December, and March.
Perfect.
So, a great job to
Yes, thank you.
Sarah and Tom.
Absolutely.
And the team for working through the technology of being able to do this electronically, to work with families to give them as much notice as possible.
Flexibility.
meaning Tonight and moving forward so that they can start to
Make decisions
make
for their
decisions.
families.
Right. So, great
Thank
job.
you. Thank you, everyone who worked on this. ACES, there's no report from the March meeting. Building committee, Zach, you're gonna.
Yeah, we didn't meet this past Monday, but just not much to add. Glass is a big one, obviously, that's a huge one, and the dry erase boards.
Right.
Those are the two kind of sizable, considerable ones that we're
The dry erase
battling with.
boards, they're looking to resurface. They're painted onto.
Shadowing or something?
They're painted onto the wall.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
not a
the process.
whiteboard. So what happens when they're marking on them, over time, they're not able to erase them or they leave a film.
Right.
So they're gonna have to come in and repaint all those boards.
So both the supplier of paint, right, so the company of paint and the installers, painters, are kind of doing this job, so. Yeah, right.
Like pointing fingers at each other.
Correct.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't know until I drove in, but we're gonna get new fencing back there too. We might get some other surprises too from the community, but you're gonna have beautiful 1/4-inch black fencing along the entranceway and all the way around the backside of the school. That'll be going on,
Okay.
which is great.
Communication, no meeting. New business. Visitors and press. Nobody from the press is here.
Warning to don't be careful what you wish for.
Good of the board. Please.
I have a couple things. First, I want to say that Read Across America at Jerome, it was a space theme. My kids came home and my daycare kids who got off the bus were so amazed by the day. Like all the hard work that the staff put in, that was an incredible day. My daughter was in SpongeBob along with a lot of other kids this past weekend with the middle school, and it was so well done. Ms. Monez and Ms. Giametti put a lot of hard work in with those kids, and I can't remember how many, it was like 50 kids between the cast, crew, and everything. Like it was amazing.
Wow.
And then one of my kids receives tier 2. It's like a reading intervention, like a little bit of help. And we had her conference yesterday, and I heard all about wit and wisdom. So now I understand it from like a very different perspective on how this is really helping her throughout this whole school year. So to hear about the wit and wisdom and how it really is put into practice with these kids every day to help their strengths grow was really interesting and cool to hear. So thank you to everybody and all your hard work.
Awesome.
If I may.
Well, I just wanted to read across America and throw out just a quick kudos. Judy was dressed as an astronaut in a full suit.
Why am I not surprised?
And I went into a classroom and I couldn't tell that she was even in there because she was sitting with the kids. And Miss Parker had to point out, that's Judy sitting right there. She looked like she could have, we just had the splashdown. Judy could have come out.
I might have.
Ship.
But if I can also echo
Awesome.
Vicky's compliments for Jerome for their read across, it was an amazing day, and I'd like to compliment Lisa Douglas and Rob Maselli and their committee for all the hard work that they put into that day, and it's very much look forward to each year, and I'm as enthusiastic as the kids for it. Also, I was a judge at this year's Invention Convention at TVS, and I'd like to thank you for inviting me. It was a pretty amazing day to see the things that the children come up with, and to have them be explaining, you know, how they found a problem and tried to fix it. It was really great. So compliments to Shelley Thompson, and I'm not sure if she has a committee, Joe, or if she just does it all herself.
Mostly Shelley.
That's what I thought, okay. But if anyone else was involved, please pass along my compliments, because it was a wonderful day. Very, very well thought out, and it ran like a well-oiled machine, so thank you.
Great student participation.
Yes.
And it's not mandatory, and the kids that really want to be a part of it, you can tell when you walk around and you hear them and you see that pride in what they did, and the failures, the successes, their storyboards, their communicating, and it's awesome. And it's just nice having that many that choose to do it and are not told you have to do it.
Right.
And the judges,
Any
everyone
new
that comes in.
inventions that we should be looking out for?
Somebody go to Shark Tank, some Shark Tank.
There were so many. I
There were
mean,
some
it
really
was,
cute.
it was not an easy job
Yeah.
by any stretch. But no, I can't really share, because they're going on now too. Some are going on, four inventions, 6 inventors
Yeah, we're mentioning.
are going on to the next level.
Joe, how many total did we have participate?
This year, we probably ended up with about between 60 and 70.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
awesome. Awesome turnout.
That's gotta be 3/4 of the class.
Yeah, it was great. So, thank you for sharing.
Wonderful. Someone's at the door, okay. The next regular Board of Education meeting is scheduled for Thursday, April 24th, 2025.
Can I just ask, what are these on the table here? Where did these come from?
Swag. Judy made them.
Oh, Judy. I'm sorry.
It says here on the bottom, it says Judy on the card.
I don't have my glasses on.
It's Board Appreciation Month.
That was very nice, Judy. Thank you, Judy. Awesome.
Very thoughtful and creative. All right, see everyone,
We need a motion to
Make a
adjourn.
motion to adjourn. We are adjourned.
25th.
Make it official.